Welcome to the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Welcome to the Hoosier Classic, the final round of the Fay Legacy Cup. This is the longest short track event of the year and it is worth double points. However, that is not the most important prize in play. Right now, there are 14 drivers battling for 100 bonus points, and you can look at the clinching scenarios right now on your screen. Ruby Carson and Luke Bellerin are in direct confrontation, and whoever finishes ahead between them takes the win. Unless they finish 5 positions behind either Kirk Jones or Vicky Murata, who are also tied. Caitlin Richler needs to gain 6 positions to win it, with Megan McDonald needing 8. From Ashley Richardson on down, the situation starts to get a little bit more dicey as her, Joy Bergson, need a gap of 10 positions. However, their situation is less dire than Rebecca Bellerin and Mac Haley, who need 26 positions, and Blake Chandler, who need 27. But the worst situation right now is for Connie Brooks, who needs to finish 36 positions ahead of the current Legacy Cup leaders. This race will be physically and mentally taxing for everyone involved, and pardon the cliche, you can cut the tension right now with a knife. So let's cut to the chase and look at the starting lineup. Taking the pole position is AJ Murphy, and alongside him, Kelly Ashcroft, winner of the second leg of the Legacy Cup in Trois-Rivières. Charlie Faulkner and Ashley Richardson share role number 2, while Tony Hunt and Caitlin Richler start 5th and 6th. Boyd Abbott and Mac Henny line up in row 1, with championship leader Thomas Tucker and Kirk Jones closing out the top 10. Rebecca Bellerin, seeking to recover her championship lead, starts in 11th, with Demi Barton 13th, Joy Bergson 16th, and Ruby Carson closing the top 20. Riley McKee starts the second half of the group alongside Ali Sindionola, while Luke Bellerin kicks off his night at 25th. He's gonna run the truck race sooner or later tonight. Vicky Murata starts 26th, and Blake Chandler, seeking to rejoin the fight for the title and increase his lead in the Rookie of the Year index, lines up 27th. Lee Smith starts 31st after a poor qualifying run, while Lucy Barton simply did not perform in qualifying, starting 34th, with Jamal Schmidt starting behind the 8 ball in 37th, and closing this 40-car grid is Skip Lemon on the 200 car. Fading to make it in are Kira Downer, Steve Gadd Jr., Kate Baylor, Tegan Robertson, and Rick Martin. This race is 300 laps long around this point, 686 short track. Tires will suffer more than the fuel tanks, so we expect pit stops to happen around every 45 to 50 laps if it goes wing all the way. But being a short track, I have severe doubts we'll see this happen. In the meantime, we got overcast skies, but a very good weather at 67 degrees and a moderate breeze towards the northeast. Let's go trackside for the race.
As you see, the pace car peels off with AJ Murphy in control off the field. Kelly Ashcroft starting right alongside him. Ashley Richardson, Charlie Faulkner starting in the second row. Third row, Caitlin Richler and Tony Hart. This is bound to be a very interesting race as the green flag is out and the Hoosier Classic is on. 300 laps. This is bound to be a very, very interesting race. As you see, the number 30 already runs away with the first position. However, Kelly Ashcroft is actually gonna take the lead on the back straightaway, get that outside line. She dives deeper in that outside, is gonna get at the line with the lead of the race, and she is gonna be the leader of the Hoosier Classic. Kelly Ashcroft needs to win and hope for a combination of results to where she can come out pretty higher in the standings, more than she is right now. Her teammate Thomas Tucker currently running in the 9th position. He enters this race as the championship leader, trying to increase his points gap, and if he wins the Fay Legacy Cup, he already is with one hand on the Challenge Series Championship. As you see in the back of the field, Jamal Schmidt, Kristen Young, and Megan McDonald all make contact. Schmidt working his way forward, and that could have ended much worse than it actually did. No caution for this very dangerous contact between Schmidt, McDonald teammates, and Kristen Young. Caitlin Richler also working her way forward, trying to win the Legacy Cup. Currently sits at the fourth position. Behind Murphy, Richardson, and Ashcroft. Another 3 wide by Jamal Schmidt, this time with another teammate, Lee Schmidt. Lee Schmidt stuck in the middle. Peter Johnson on the outside. As they come to the back straight away, they make contact, and that's gonna be your first caution of the Independence Special. Jamal Schmidt gets tagged by his teammate, and that's trouble. A couple of drivers decided to pit just to make sure in terms of fuel runs. And this is gonna leave Tony Hart and Ronnie Samples running first and second. Caitlin Richler third. Mac Henley fourth. Green flag is in the air. The 96 and the 7 have a better start than everyone else. As you see on the outside, there goes Samples. There's another 3 wide right there. Ryan Faulkner, Caitlin Richler, and Mac Henley brawling to see who comes out in third place. Ruby Carson appearing up there in the 6th position. Samples already opening a bit of a gap over the 96, but the 96 does not want to let him get away. And this is going to be the tonic of the race from now on. You're going to have a leader that's going to be able to open a bit of a gap and everyone else trying to catch. And as the laps wind on, Mac Henley actually holding back quite a bit. He is in third place, but he's letting the difference get increased and increased. Same with Ryan Faulkner. He's in fourth place with Ruby Carson in fifth. Alexander Nolan having a good run in sixth in this early goings on. Thomas Tucker right there in seventh. They're letting the cars ahead open a bit of a gap, build a gap, and they're gonna work it out when the fuel and pit stops happen. When the fuel and tire pit stops happen. Peter Johnson goes into the pits for damage, but he's also gonna use this as a strategical stop, and he's gonna have a full tank of gas, different from the leaders right now. Ronnie Samples and Tony Hart still together by the time we reach lap number 32. By the point we get to lap 36, Kristen Young is gonna be the first driver to be lapped under green flag conditions, and Samples is gonna dive on the inside. Megan McDonald together with her. And let's see if it's gonna work out. You go now on board with Tony Hart in the 96. That could have been much dangerous as they're coming to lap the 14 of Adam Patterson. Samples gets to figure it out earlier than Hart. Hart gets into the back of Adam Patterson, probably venting out his very fair frustrations, but Ronnie Samples is the leader, and that's not gonna change so soon. Rebecca Pellerin has been working her way back forward, finds herself in the 9th spot. Caitlin Richler has fallen to 10th. Boyd Abbott now finds himself in the 7th spot with Thomas Tucker 8th. This is going to be a very interesting battle for the title as Lucy Barton slowly working her way forward as well. She did not have the most fantastic qualifying efforts, but she's working her way forward, and this is a long race. Kelly Ashcroft, after pitting, she decided actually to pit twice. She pitted once in the first opportunity she got, and then pitted again just to make sure the car was in pitch perfect condition. So she's down to 24th as Tony Hart uses the outside in the lap car Peter Johnson as a pick to go through the number 7 of Ronnie Samples, and we got a new leader, the Britishman Tony Hart. A very young lad running the late model, the northern division of the late model series. And we expect him to have more showings next year, though nothing has been confirmed so far. But he has been having a fantastic season at this point, as they're about to lap the 69 of Peter Johnson and the 85 of Charlie Faulkner. And there goes Ronnie Samples to give the receipt, and there goes Samples on the inside. Is it gonna work? Hart has the nose ahead as they enter turn 3, but Samples gets to drive deeper, and Hart gets to drive even deeper, and the exit and that grip on the outside is gonna help Tony Hart to hold on to the lead as we open lap number 64. This has been a fantastic battle. There have been close quarters ever since they both took the lead positions, and in the middle of the field, there you see 3 of the title contenders, Lucy Barton, Rebecca Pellerin, and Thomas Tucker, kicking off the pit cycle. The following lap is time for McHenley, Olisende Nolan, and two teammates, and then Boyd Abbott to come in. And on lap 65, the top two comes in. Hart and Samples come in. Let's see what happens when it cycles out, but it looks like they're gonna still be very much together. Ryan Faulkner, Ruby Carson, Connie Brooks, Caitlin Richler, Joey Thorson, Luke Pellerin are among the cars that pitted together with the leaders. And we're gonna have these earlier pit stops. Everyone's just kind of making sure they can drive as long as they may be able to. Jenny Irving decided to extend her run. We're on lap 67, so she's doing a 2-lap longer run. This gives her 2 laps lead on the scoreboard. This is not much other than publicity. She has been a fine driver in the Western Late Model Tour, but that team has no sponsorship. So if anyone wants to give it a go, I think showings like this are a fantastic opportunity to try it. But when everything cycles out, Tony Hart, the leader, there goes his teammate Rafael Molina, bothers a little bit Ronnie Samples. He has to squirrel his way into the outside, and that's gonna work out fantastically for Tony Hart, who will retain the lead. Lucy Barton currently running in 6th place after the pit cycle. They had a fantastic pit stop against Thomas Tucker, Rebecca Pellerin, and she's right behind McHenley. Henley is the 2012 series champion, the last rookie to do it. And right now, Blake Chandler can be the first rookie to do it since him. Thomas Tucker right now, 3rd place as we enter lap 70. He's, for lack of a better term, he's chilling. He's doing his own thing. And as the race progresses, you can see how the 96 and the 7 have caught a group of lap cars that are just way faster. As they come to lap the 200 of Kip Lemon, Kirk Jones gets held up. And here comes Thomas Tucker approaching the top 2, and they are gonna have to lap Creeper Stevenson as they come out of turn number 2. The 200 is just such a slower car, and there's problems for Ryan Faulkner on lap number 91. The 89 car goes up in smoke from the 16th position. That is gonna be our second caution tonight. As you see, he comes down to the front straightaway. He's gonna stop, and that car is done for the evening. Everyone's gonna take this opportunity to go into the pits. The lead lap cars, as you see, all come in together. No one's gonna risk it. We have been in this run for 30 laps. We expect something around 60 to 80 laps each run, depending on how the tires are wasted. So nobody wants to risk it. If they pit and change tires right now, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna put scuffs in later. So the 7 comes out in first, Lucy Martin 2nd, 3rd place Thomas Tucker, 4th place Ruby Carson, 5th place McHenley, 6th place Olisende Nolan. Tony Hart falls all the way to 7 together with Boyd Abbott. Timmy Martin closing the top 10. Is going to be a battle between the 88, the 2, and the 28. And Lucy Martin is going to have to go into the pits again. They reported a vibration on the number 98. We're going to get a restart on lap number 99. Thomas Tucker has a very good restart and leads away as they come out of turn number 2. And Ronnie Samples is right behind them. Ruby Carson already ready to pass McHenley for the 3rd position. And behind McHenley is still a battle, but now you're gonna take a look at the Legacy Crown standings right now. Ruby Carson with that 3rd position or 4th position, depends on where she is right now, still wins the Legacy Crown with a commanding gap over Luke Pellerin, at least some 7-8 positions. Caitlin Richler now jumps to 3rd on that fight. Luke Pellerin, as you follow him, is in 9th place. He needs to pass Ruby Carson. He needs to catch to her. For that, he needs to gain 6 positions. So that's not gonna be an easy task in a short track like IRP. Tammy Martin currently running in the 5th position, having a very good time with the car. Nelson Racing seems to have gotten all of their cars tuned up just right. Lucy Martin having a fantastic run, Tony Hart having a fantastic run, and now Tammy Martin working her way forward. Here comes her under the 77 under the 77, and now this is exactly the type of thing that Luke Pellerin needs to happen. Ruby Carson has to be passed because he can't depend on himself only right now. McHenley currently in 3rd place, now under threat from the 97, as you see coming in turn 1 on lap number 113. Tammy Barton dives in. She makes it look easy, puts it alongside in the back straightaway, coming to turn number 3. And she is gonna go through for the 3rd position over McHenley. Tammy Barton, 3rd place. Is it gonna work? Coming down turn 1, and she is about to clear him, and she's gonna clear him. A commanding pass, an easy pass. That's the type of pass we see from a veteran. Tammy Barton has acclimated extremely well to the North American Auto Club. And she is starting to slowly gain on the number 7 of Ronnie Samples. That's gonna get really interesting as the laps wore down. And currently, look at that. She's already on the rear end of the number 7. And let's see what's gonna happen. Seems like it's gonna be a very tight battle as Thomas Tucker continues to lead, and he widens the gap ever so more as we're reaching lap number 120. And Lucy Barton currently running right there, 30th place. She fell after the pit cycle, but she stands to gain once again. Peter Johnson fighting with her. Jamal Schmidt fell all the way to the back after that crash, that very unnecessary crash he got involved in quite earlier. And Ronnie Samples, Tammy Barton, the battle for second continues as we enter lap 120. There goes Barton on the inside. Is it gonna work out? Looks like it will. Tammy Barton, new 2nd place in the race at the line. Turn number 1, side by side. Tammy Barton making it look easy. 2nd place. And Thomas Tucker by lap 125 is going to start catching the lap cars, for example, the 14 of Adam Patterson, and this is going to be the headache for him because Tammy Barton is going to slowly eat away that difference, and as you see it, right behind him. And she sticks it on the outside. A couple of laps later, Tucker on the inside. They're going to try to split him 3 wide. Are they going to try to split him 3 wide? They don't. Cooler heads prevail, and Tammy Barton's going to take the lead of the race. She dives on the inside of the 71 of Dan Wright, who qualified for this race. A good qualifying effort, might I add. And she is gonna also lap the 71 as Thomas Tucker now is boxed in between the 71 and the 14, trying to figure it out a way through. He figures it out, but it's not enough. Tammy Barton already gone. And you see the size of the gap right there. It is not small, but Tammy Barton is still gonna have to manage more lap cars. And by the time they get to lap 135, he is gonna start catching her again. Here she comes. She's gonna try to force a 3 wide between her, Megan McDonald, and Kristen Young, and Tucker right there in the middle. Is he gonna try to make it a 3 wide? Is he gonna try to make it a 3 wide? And that is patience, son. Patience, and the caution is gonna come out for another engine blowout. Lucas Calhoun was having a okay run. Oh, he almost got hit by the 69. Peter Johnson got a bump from Kristen Young, who was just in the wrong place, wrong time. Calhoun was running in 25th. By no means a fantastic race, but a serviceable one. And it's gonna come to an abrupt halt. Everyone comes into the pits when the caution officially comes out on lap 141. When the pits open on lap 141, Barton enters as the leader, leaves as the leader. Tucker enters as second, leaves as second. That's about it. But they were the only ones to pit because Ronnie Samples and the group you see behind him stayed out. They did a gamble. Is the gamble gonna work? We'll see as we are approaching the halfway point of the Hoosier Classic. The green flag is out and Samples has a terrible restart. Audis and Donovan gets a great jump coming into turn number 1, and Ronnie Samples has lost the lead as they come out of turn number 2. This is going to be a very interesting run. Most of these guys in the front have older tires. The crew in the middle, in the mid pack and the rear have newer tires. This is going to be a very interesting dynamic we're going to have to see right now. Boyd Abbott, as you see, fighting for 3rd place with McHenley. Henley having a good run. Connie Brooks having a good run as well. Tony Hart right there working his way forward, finding himself in 17th place. And in the middle of the pack, and he gets contacted by Matt Stern and Jenny Irving. They make contact into turn number 3, and AJ Murphy, the pole position, gets involved. He had nowhere to go in the field, checked up. The 3 wide situation in the back straight did not work. AJ Murphy had nowhere to go, and his race is gonna come to a screeching halt, and he is gonna be done for the afternoon. Tammy Barton, this time she chooses to stay out. together with Lee Schmidt, who hasn't pitted in the last 2 cautions, which I think he might be banking on another caution in short notice, unless he plans to pit before the restart, which he doesn't, and that's gonna work against him. You see how Tammy Barton gets such a fantastic jump. She's up and away with the lead of the race once again. Corbin Dempsey's gonna also use this opportunity to take second place. Matt Stern, despite being involved in the crash, still there. Blake Chandler having a good run in this restart. So we're having a lot of these different strategies start to affect the field at large, where you have drivers that you can't pinpoint where they're gonna pit. Joey Torgson, the winner in the crown race at New York, done for the day. His shot at winning the Legacy Cup comes to an end. A very melancholic end. He was fixing to be a contender once again this year, and it's just not gonna come to be. Tammy Barton continues to lead. Corbin Dempsey right behind her. Lee Schmidt was able to retain the 3rd position, but he's falling under threat from the 95 and the 8. And Ruby Carson appearing up there, if I'm not mistaken. That yellow car is Ruby Carson. So it's starting to get very interesting, this front end of the field. Bobby Savage having a good run. Rebecca Pellerin and Kelly Ashcroft making up the rest of the top 10. Mostly because they are on different pit cycles. Brett Finley following the 99 very, very closely. Blake Chandler currently in 6th place. He's fixing to not just win the Legacy Cup, he's trying to win the lead of the championship. A good result here would mean wonders for his Rookie of the Year chances, especially if the other rookies that are fighting against him have poor runs, as you go together with Thomas Tucker working his way to 14th. Matt Stern retains the 5th position, just having his day. He's just having a day. Was involved in the crash with Toddy Hart, but overall the race has been very good to Matt Stern. Matt Stern has been very solid. Tony Hart, now you see the amount of damage in the rear end of the 96, but that's not why he's so low on the running order. He's so low on the running order because he took a while to get that car fixed, the rear panel fixed, and bumped to at least a corrector shape. So he's down to 29th place, while his teammate Tammy Barton continues to lead about the lap, the number 200. And she is starting to get a little bit more passive than we would want, as we're approaching the completion of the 2nd third of this race. The 81 of Corbin Dempsey leads, and Tammy Barton, she is choosing to undercut. That's an interesting choice. That is a very interesting choice. She undercuts on lap 194. I wonder if that's gonna work, because it's an undercut. Undercuts don't always work. Corbin Dempsey continues to lead. Lee Schmidt running 2nd, 3rd place. Rafaela Molina from Mexico having a good run. Another of the Nelson cars having a fantastic run. Matt Stern running in the 4th place. Blake Chandler right now in 5th because of this pit cycle that has yet to begin. And you see how Lee Schmidt's gonna try to hang on the inside, or Molina's gonna be able to get the move on the outside. She will get the move on the outside. Rafaela Molina is gonna jump from 3rd to 2nd, and as you see the Legacy Crown standings, Ruby Carson continues to lead and now has an even bigger lead over Kirk Jones and Luke Pellerin, which are now tied for the 2nd position. Caitlin Richler is currently in 4th, Ibiki Murata 5th, and the gap between those and Ruby Carson is large. They stand to have Ruby Carson lose positions. Corbin Dempsey into the pits together with Blake Chandler on lap 202. The green flag pit cycle begins. Matt Stern brings the 2nd group with Ruby Carson, the current leader of the Legacy Cup, on lap 203 with Kelly Ashcroft and Thomas Tucker entering together. Lap 204, time for the new leader, Rafaela Molina, to come in with, I believe that's the 43 of Lee Schmidt and the 27 of Rebecca Pellerin, and the 15 of Brett Finley also coming in. Let's see where this pit cycle is going to leave us, as coming out of the pits, Corbin Dempsey is going to be ahead of Tammy Barton, who's going to be ahead of Rafaela Molina. So this undercut kind of worked. I don't know if it worked completely in her favor, but it did put her together with the people that she was intending to be with. In the meantime, extending their runs is the 19 of Jenny Irving and the 88 of Luke Pellerin, having a solid run right there, 2nd and 1st. Let's see what's gonna happen in this pit cycle as they're running together. as they're not running together actually, and the 19 is just saving tires. So you can see how Ronnie Samples, who already pitted, is just putting alongside her, despite the fact that Irving is effectively second place. Luke Pellerin comes in, and this is gonna put Jenny Irving in the point, and Jenny Irving continues to refuse to go into the pits. Charlie Faulkner now finds himself in third place, also not going to the pits, and as you see, the 81 is gonna unlap himself. There goes Corbin Dempsey. The 97 of Tammy Barton having a look as well to unlap herself. This is starting to get pretty interesting, especially if Jenny Irving continues to stay out. This is looking very, very fun. As the 81, the 03, the 95, and I think the yellow's out. No, it's not. Those are the lights in the pits. Those were the lights in the pits, but as you see, Tammy Barton and Rafaela Molina get together with Charlie Faulkner on a 3 wide, and that is gonna be the caution. And let's see what happens there, because Ruby Carson got a front row seat to a disaster. Tammy Barton got stuck in the middle, got really loose, and just had no way to avoid the contact. Ruby Carson almost hits the 85, ends up tapping the wall a little bit, and this caution couldn't have come in better timing for Jenny Irving. She was 2 laps down because of this alternate strategy of extending her run and just overall running at the back. This is a strategical masterstroke, because she is gonna get to be on the lead lap when the race restarts. She pits, she's gonna fall to the tail end of the lead lap, but she's gonna lead. That's the most important thing. She's gonna be on the lead lap. And because of how it was, you see how everyone decides to just wave around the pace car, because they were all ahead of Jenny Irving when the caution came out. She pitted, they get to wave around, and you see that there's a lot of heavy hitters waving around. You see the 52 of Ibiki Murata now, the 58 of Ashley Richardson, 32 of Kirk Jones. So all of these people will wave around as we enter the final 90 laps of this race. It's getting pretty dicey. It is getting pretty dicey, and the green flag is in the air. Blake Chandler and Corbin Dempsey are in a dead heat on the restart. Is Chandler gonna be able to get that vaulting over on the outside on the back straightaway? He will. Blake Chandler gets the nose ahead on the outside of turn number 2, and there he goes for the lead of the race. Rafaela Molina running in third place once again. Fourth place, Ruby Carson. Fifth place, Lee Schmidt, despite getting involved in a crash early in the goings on. Sixth place right now is Kelly Ashcroft working her way forward. Eighth place, Matt Stern. Ninth place, Ronnie Samples working his way back forward after making essentially a different strategy. And there goes Charlie Faulkner with the 9th position. Matt Stern right there falls to 10th place. Ronnie Samples slowly gaining position by position. And when I told you it was a big break for Jenny Irving, well, she's down now in 13th place. She's in the top 20 decisively, mostly because this strategy worked in her favor. Staying out and praying for a caution worked out. And as you see, Blake Chandler currently running in the lead, starts to open a little gap over Dempsey. Is it gonna be like that? Doesn't look like it will, because Dempsey is starting to score faster and faster laps, but we're gonna have to see if Chandler is gonna have the grit to hang on to that commanding lead. Tammy Barton now chasing the 43 of Lee Schmidt, getting chased by the 99 of Kelly Ashcroft. We kind of hit a lull in this race, and we finally get at least a moment where cooler heads have been prevailing. We're not having more aggressive moves. We're having drivers drive, and that's what matters. Corbin Dempsey and Rafaela Molina battling for the 2nd position. Molina on the outside. The Nelson cars, they can just go on the outside with reckless abandon, and they get it done. Rafaela Molina to 2nd, and now she starts to chase down the 03, and with the help of the lap car of Adam Patterson, she's all over the rear end of Blake Chandler as they come down to turn number 3. Is it gonna be enough? She has the inside. Patterson's on the outside. Rafaela Molina is gonna use the 14 as a pick, and she is gonna go through for the lead of the race as we enter lap 40, lap 246. Caution is out. Debris on the track. Tony Hart's gonna get the lifeline. This is gonna be instrumental for his race, as you see him taking the yellow flag. That is gonna put him back on the lead lap, and that damage is not gonna be a factor no longer. He's gonna be back on the lead lap. He's gonna have a shot fighting for position, and this is going to be very important to him. And you go with Blake Chandler now with just the final lap before the restart. Corbin Dempsey in second, third place Lee Schmidt, fourth place Kelly Ashcroft as they're gonna form up. Pace truck into the pits. They are now formed up. Let's see what's gonna happen in this restart as we enter the final 50 laps of the Hoosier Classic. This is gonna be fun. Green flag is in the air, and Chandler has once again a solid restart, a very solid restart. And someone who did not have a solid restart, the 43 of Lee Schmidt. He's reporting a vibration. Ronnie Samples and Tammy Barton make contact. Lee Schmidt checks up into the pits. Tire going down on the 43 car. And Lee Schmidt goes from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. He's gonna fall a couple of laps down. He is out of it. He is out of it as Kelly Ashcroft now finds herself in the third spot. Lucy Barton continuing to work her way forward, makes contact with the 58 of Ashley Richardson. They make contact. They're coming back into the flow of traffic. Big crash. It's a big crash. It's a big one. It's a big one in a short track. Lucy Barton into the back of the 58. The 58 held on to the middle of the track. Lucy Barton got together. From then on, those two cars could not avoid each other. Ruby Carson, the leader of the Prestige Crown, has just been eliminated from contention, and now Ruby Carson is done for the evening. We will have a different winner for the Prestige Crown. Ruby Carson was having a commanding lead of 3 positions in the average finish, and she is done. Now only a disaster for multiple cars will give her that point, and as you see, going on board with Lucy Barton, this was just, I don't know what Richardson was thinking. I don't know what Barton was thinking. This was just reckless by both parts. The officials thought so. They called both to the hauler. We don't expect any penalties, but we do expect at least some sort of punishment come the next race. At least something like preventing them from running practice or something along those lines. Just a slap on the wrist, because this is the type of stuff that you gotta have some consequences for. As you see the sheer size of this crash. But in the business end of the field, Blake Chandler leads away, Corbin Dempsey second, Kelly Ashcroft third. We will not have pit stops anymore. They are gonna run to the finish, barring a disaster, okay? Barring a disaster. Caitlin Richler right now is the front runner for the Prestige Crown. You're gonna see in a few moments, but she's currently in 7th place. She gained all the positions she needed to gain over the 77, but Luke Pellerin's right there with her, and Luke Pellerin is essentially tied. They're essentially tied at this point, but Richler has just a little nose ahead, at 1-2 positions ahead, but Pellerin is working his way forward, so he's not gonna let her win that very easily. Right now in 3rd place, Charlie Faulkner having a very good run. That pit cycle that he went together with Jenny Irving worked out, despite the fact that he brought the caution that made that pit cycle work. No fault of his own, okay? It wasn't his fault. He just got involved in something that was not his business. As David Lamar right now running in 25th place, a big upset, and he blows up, and he gets hit by Dan Wright, Kristen Young, and the 51 of Bobby Savage. That is another caution. Currently, Blake Chandler leads, Corbin Dempsey is second, Charlie Faulkner third, Kelly Ashcroft fourth, Ronnie Samples fifth, and you see the Legacy Crown only 1 position apart. Luke Pellerin needs to earn 1 position if Caitlin Richler is stationary. If Caitlin Richler loses 1 position, Luke Pellerin does not need to do anything. There are 30 laps left in the Hoosier Classic. Blake Chandler leads us to the green. Corbin Dempsey has a better restart. Kelly Ashcroft restarted in fourth, makes the move on the outside over Charlie Faulkner. She's gonna already get to the third position, and there goes Corbin Dempsey on the outside. Kelly Ashcroft also on the outside. Ronnie Samples trying to gain position. Riley McKee right there, also having a very good restart on the outside. Tony Hart working his way forward in the 11th spot, passes the 8 of Matt Stern on the outside after getting back on the lead lap. Rafaela Molina also fighting right there. Kelly Ashcroft in the middle of this brawl. Kirk Jones hits the wall in the back, loses a couple of positions. Here comes the 96 on the inside, trying to force a 3 wide. He gives up on it. Cooler heads prevail, as you're gonna see it again, how the 32 goes into the wall. There goes the 98 back on the lead lap. There goes the 43, there goes the 19, and there goes the 38. Here comes the double 8 of Luke Pellerin as Caitlin Richler works her way forward. Lucy Martin also working her way forward. We are only 25 laps away, and Lucy Martin's back on the top 15. She is trying to get to Matt Stern for 11th, Tony Hart for 10th. Corbin Dempsey and Blake Chandler cannot get away from each other as they come into turn number 1. Chandler cannot find the proper line. Is he gonna try on the inside? Doesn't look like he will. Corbin Dempsey trying to hang on the outside. He can drive a little bit deeper, a little bit faster, have a little bit more mojo on the outside. The Baron Corbin Dempsey having a fantastic run. Luke Pellerin on the outside of Mac Hanley trying to gain the 1 position to win the Legacy Crown. He's praying that Caitlin Richler cannot hold to a position. Here comes the 18 of Mac Hanley trying to hang on. Right now, if these positions maintain, Luke Pellerin does not win the Prestige Crown, but here comes a very hungry Lucy Martin trying to gain a position on Caitlin Richler. If Lucy Martin gets to make the pass, it's over for Caitlin Richler. So here comes Martin on the outside. Is she gonna just give it away? No, she's not. She's gonna fight until the end. Tire going down on the 95 of Rafaela Molina. She is out of contention, was running 6th. That's gonna give everyone 1 position. It's unchanged on the Prestige Crown. Corbin Dempsey and Blake Chandler continue to fight. Kelly Ashcroft having a very good view of this battle. She's just waiting for her moment. She's just waiting for her moment. As the 95 merges back on track, almost screws over the 7, almost screws over her own teammate Hart. Hart trying to get into the top 5, fighting with Riley McKee, who is in 4th, 5th place, Charlie Faulkner, 6th place, Ronnie Samples. Jenny Irving holding on to the 13th position after that insane pit strategy that's just happened to work. She has an inferior car, so she did not have the opportunity to climb the field at the same pace as Charlie Faulkner. Charlie Faulkner just had way more car than her. Bobby Savage right now blows up in front, blows the tire in front of the leaders. There goes Kelly Ashcroft on the outside with only 10 laps to go, and that is gonna cost the lead to Corbin Dempsey and Blake Chandler as the 51 blew the tire as soon as he checked up. The 81 and the 03 were in the worst possible position. Kelly Ashcroft made it look like a movie passing those two. They were nowhere to defend. And the 81 and the 03 now are fighting for 2nd place as Riley McKee now finds himself in 4th. Tony Hart finds himself in 5th, getting on to the top 5 despite that kicked up rear end. He was in the front of the pack this whole race. The two of Caitlin Richler fighting right there with Brad Finley and Lucy Martin with only 6 laps remaining, and there are only 4 laps to go when Kelly Ashcroft hits the stripe. Now you go on the split screen. Caitlin Richler cannot lose a position. Luke Pellerin must earn a position. This is gonna be a scorcher. Here comes Kelly Ashcroft to lap the number 14 of Adam Patterson. Is it gonna work? Corbin Dempsey waiting in the wings. If she goes to the inside, the chance opens for Blake Chandler. They are all together. There is a blanket covering the top 5 in the lap cars of Kip Lemon and Jack Patterson. Corbin Dempsey on the inside, Kelly Ashcroft on the outside. 3 laps to go, and Kelly Ashcroft retains the lead. Kelly Ashcroft retains the lead. Here comes the 03 of Blake Chandler on the outside to take the 2nd position from Corbin Dempsey, and now Kelly Ashcroft has to manage through the 200 of Kip Lemon as they're gonna come to only 2 laps to go, to only 3 laps to go, I apologize. And here comes for 2 laps to go. There goes Kelly Ashcroft on the inside of the 03 of Blake Chandler. Here comes, and we are 3 laps away from the finish. I apologize, 3 laps away from the finish. Tony Hart, where did he come from? Where did Tony Hart come from? Managing through the lap cars of the 14, the 200, and now he's in 2nd, bothering the 99. Kelly Ashcroft leads away. White flag is in the air. Luke Pellerin cannot earn a position. Caitlin Richler cannot lose the position to Ruby Carson. Ruby Carson on the outside of turn number 1. On the outside of turn number 1, they get to the back straight away. Kelly Ashcroft leads the way. She has a gap over the 96. Kelly Ashcroft's gonna round out the final corner to win the Hoosier Classic. The second legacy win for her. She wins. And at the line, Caitlin Richler beats Lucy Barton. Kelly Ashcroft comes out the winner of the Hoosier Classic. This is her second win in the 4 Prestige Crown events. Tony Hart finishes in a fantastic second place. That is gonna help him at least gain a few points, but just not nearly enough on the Rookie of the Year standings, as Blake Chandler finishes in 3rd. Corbin Dempsey, a fantastic run for Shield Motorsports, just not from the car they wanted to, while Riley McKee brings a fantastic result for HQS Racing. He has been anonymous most season, but these points are going to be precious as the season wears on. Charlie Faulkner finishes in 7th, Brett Finley 8th, Caitlin Richler beats Lucy Barton by only a few hundredths of a second in order to win the Prestige Crown and the 100 points that go with it. You're gonna see how that's gonna affect the championship pretty soon. But let's take a look at the rest of the top 20, as Matt Stern finishes in 8th place, Lee Schmidt 12th, Jenny Irving. That insane strategy of overcutting the field worked out. She came from a couple of laps down all the way to 13th. While Kirk Jones 14th, Luke Pellerin hits the post. He needed just a couple of positions lost by Caitlin Richler to win the Prestige Crown. It is not gonna happen. Ibiki Murata 16th, Rafaela Molina, Olisenio Nolan finished in 17th and 18th, Rebecca Pellerin in 19th. This is a heavy hit to her championship hopes, and Mac Henley closes out the top 20. All of these drivers finished in the lead lap despite this being a short track. In the championship standings, Lucy Barton now regains the championship lead. Thomas Tucker finds himself 16 points behind now, with Blake Chandler vaulting to 3rd place over Rebecca Pellerin, who falls from 3rd to 4th, 35 points behind. Caitlin Richler with the Prestige Crown points goes all the way to 5th, while Kirk Jones, 63 points behind, falls from 5th to 6th. Luke Pellerin ends up losing quite a couple of points. If he had won the Prestige Crown, he would have a 36-point lead over everybody right now. Kelly Ashcroft ends up in 8th place with this second Prestige Crown win with 74 points behind, while Ibiki Murata and Ruby Carson are the first drivers more than 100 points behind. You take a look at the second page of the championship standings. Joey Torkson falls from 8th to 11th. Jamal Schmidt from 9th to 12th. Those are 2 big hits. Charlie Faulkner gains quite a little bit, gets to 140 points behind Lucy Barton, 13th place, while Brett Finley, Corbin Dempsey making huge gains. Ashley Richardson, 16th place, not winning the Prestige Crown has sealed her fate. She will not be able to contend for the title as a part-timer. Connie Brooks finishes in 17th, loses quite a few points, with Mac Henley 18th, Riley McKee and Ronnie Samples closing out the top 10. Well, we said Caitlin Richler won, but we never showed her by how much. A single position. If she had finished behind Lucy Barton in 10th, she and Luke Pellerin would have tied, and Pellerin had the better result amongst both of them. On the tiebreaker, Pellerin would have won the Legacy Cup. Kirk Jones finishes 3 positions behind on track, so he does not have a shot. Ibiki Murata 4 positions on back. Blake Chandler made quite a few gains, but just not enough. He needed a wacky combination of results to win the Prestige Crown. Ruby Carson falls from the lead to 7th, and you see Luke Pellerin was also in the lead. He finished 2nd, so Ruby Carson could have done way better. Corbin Dempsey, Ashley Richardson, and Charlie Faulkner close the top 10 in the Legacy Cup. And last but not least, the Rookie of the Year standings are static. Nothing changed since we left Tennessee, aside from Blake Chandler increasing his difference over Ibiki Murata. Other than that, it is business as usual. The next race for the North American Auto Club Challenge Series is gonna be another companion event with the PCC Series at the Grand Detour Raceway, the C9 Antifreeze 99 Challenge. See you next time!